Cloudcast Media.
Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media, and so thrilled to have back on Bob Lehman. He is the executive director of the San Diego Museum Council. How you doing there, Bob?
Good, Drew. Nice to be back.
Good. How long have you been with the council?
About 2.5 years now.
2.5 years. Very, very good. And you got some of your colleagues with you over here. Patty McEvoy, the marketing coordinator for the San Diego Railroad Museum. How you doing, Patty?
I'm great. How are you?
Fine. How long you been with that museum?
Just about a year now.
So you're a veteran. Very, very good. And we'll talk to BJ Morgan. He's the marketing manager of the Museum of Making Music. How are you doing?
I'm excellent, Drew.
How long you been to that museum?
I've been around for 23 years now, so I feel like the new guy on the block.
You are the new guy on the block over here. How long has the museum been in business?
About 23 years.
Is that right? Well, the reason why I say that, and Kristen will know this, and all my friends, nothing I love more than music and live music and so forth. I can't get enough of it. And shockingly, I've not been to your museum, and that will end effective immediately. I'll tell you that right. Where are you folks located?
We're up in Carlsbad, nestled in between the flower fields and Legoland. And Drew, you have an open invitation now, so please come up.
You will rue the day that you said that over there. That's very good. And joined by my phenomenal co-host, Kristen Fogel. She is the executive director of San Diego Writers, Inc., housed in Liberty Station, and has been doing a great job as my co-host. And Bob, I know she has a question for you out of the gate.
I do. I want to hear from each of you on this, though, but I wonder if you could just tell us a little bit about the mission of your organization.
Well, the Museum Council is designed to promote the museums for visitation and also their exhibits, to get it out there, but to mainly promote museums, make them more accessible to San Diego and to the families, and also to people visiting the city of San Diego and the county.
Excellent. Yeah, and I know you have some fun stuff coming up in October, but we'll get to that in just a second. Patty, I do know the Railroad Museum, but can you tell us just a little bit more about it?
Yeah, so our mission is to preserve, present, and collect the history of California railroads in the form of model railroading. Mm-hmm. So we have 6 different exhibits. Some are fantasy layouts, some are actual railroads that exist within Southern California and California. Very
nice. Yeah, my 5-year-old son loves your railroad exhibits. So thank you for that.
Well, let me ask Patty a question here. Have you always been interested in railroads?
I have not. I got a degree in marketing and have always had a soft spot for nonprofits. Yeah. And this position just kind of fit my experience. But since being at the museum, I have really fallen in love with the hobby. I know how to do model railroading at this point. I know more about railroads than I could have ever imagined. And it's just absolutely fascinating stuff.
So you didn't have the Lionel train set when you were a kid, correct?
I didn't, but I was a Thomas fan.
Yeah, very, very good. And we had that over there. And I'll steal a little bit of Kristen's thunder. So BJ, did you have a Lionel train set when you were a kid?
I did. I did have a giant, the huge metal trains. Yeah, it was, I believe my great aunt got it for me when I was just born, basically. And you don't know how to take care of those things at that age.
Of course not.
Tend to break things and whatnot, but it's still in my folks' home. It's
nice. Does it run?
I haven't tried operating.
Yeah, what I loved about it was the thing had the actual steam coming out of the of the engine on that aspect of it.
That's cool.
Sorry for stealing your.
No, it's okay. And even more of a side note. So the one podcast that I listen to the most is actually the Thomas the Train podcast, because that's what my son falls asleep to every single night. So,
is that right?
Yeah. So I've been cheating on our podcast with Thomas the Train. So there you are.
Very good. Very good. You were going to ask BJ?
I do. I want to tell us a little bit more about I have not been to the Museum of Making Music either.
This is a tragedy. We need to get everyone to the Museum of Making Music.
We demand a field trip.
Well, blame it all on Bob, all right? So,
so it's Bob's fault, but tell us a little bit more about the
Absolutely.
The space.
So the mission of the museum, we celebrate the people and the organizations that make musical instruments, that provide or sell musical instruments, and then what happens when those musical instruments get into our hands, how they get from where they are created to where they're going, and what happens when the rubber hits the road, when we make music. And we explore the manufacturing processes, the innovations over time, like electrification, big difference in a lot of instruments, or the manufacturing of microchips, or just how do you make an instrument for a student versus a professional. And then we take a look at retail environments from the 1890s all the way up into the present day, and then what it's like for instruments to go beyond the meaning of just making music, when they become canvases, when they have cultural purpose, when they have solace, they create comfort. They go beyond just themselves making music.
So cool. Drew, we got to get up there. So amazing.
Again, I told BJ, you'll rue the day that I did this. Involved from in this. Listen, I got to tell you, music, as we have heard on the show, we love having musicians on. We love having VAPA on. I think Bob even probably heard this when he was on before. We literally could teach every content area in the curriculum, from physics to science to language to history to you name it, by doing two things: going to the museums. You could have a whole curriculum 10 times over, or teaching music and the arts. One of the days I spent 11 and a half years as a curriculum developer for San Diego Unified before any of you guys were born. There was barely running water when I did it. But, my hope is that as VAPA continues to make some, more headway in terms of funding in the schools, which is about time, we'll start to see that. And we all know that when we focus on what students are interested in, what a shock, how well they absolutely, thrive in that area. So enough of my soapbox that I say every single time when I have folks on like you on this aspect of it. Bob and I'll have Kristen ask more questions on it, but I'll start with you. What's Kids Free Museum Month, basically?
Kids Free Museum Month is where kids get in free with a paid adult to museums all over the county. This is our biggest one ever. We've got 59 museums participating this year. Last year we had about 83,000 people participate. We were expecting about 100,000 this year, hopefully more. And what you do is you simply go online to SanDiegoMuseumCouncil.org and you can download the coupon for your favorite museums right down to your phone. And then you just show those at the front door of the museums, and they'll take off the price of kids to let them in for free. So it's a great opportunity for families to get out and see museums they haven't been to, or even their favorites, and save a lot of money.
So if a parent goes and they have, like our friend Steve Breen. Steve Breen is a retired editorial cartoonist for the San Diego Union Tribune. He's got 7 kids, right? Is there a certain age group of kid, Bob?
It depends on each museum, and on our website, the coupons tell you. It's usually 12 and under.
Okay.
And it's usually normally it's 2 kids per 1 adult.
Gotcha.
Sometimes it's more, and then they'll also discover a lot of Marines. A lot of museums are free year round, and museums like the Miniature Railroad Museum kids are free there all year round now. So they'll discover that a lot too. This program is in partnership with the San Diego Tourism Authority and First 5 San Diego. It's the October, normally museum attendance drops dramatically. It actually starts in September. Tourism Authority says it drops about 50%.
Wow.
So, and big things like SeaWorld and the zoo drop by 60%.
Wow.
So this is a way to pick things back up in the fall when the kids are back in school and people aren't traveling, to get people traveling back to San Diego, get the kids and families back in the museums, to get everybody into the holiday season when things will start picking up again.
All right, I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast. We're on our 17th year. We're broadcast at the Mission Fed studio here in Scripps Ranch, and Mission Fed's been doing great things for San Diegans for more than 60 years, joined by the cool cats that are involved with San Diego Museum Council and the San Diego Museums in general. Bob Lehman, Executive Director of the San Diego Museum Council, Patty McEvoy, Marketing Coordinator for San Diego Railroad Museum, and B.J. Morgan, Marketing Manager for Museum of Making Music. Kristen.
Yeah, so there are 59 museums participating, and then also the Zoo, SeaWorld, Legoland, Belmont Park, Sesame Place, they're all participating as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You can find their links on our page too.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's so funny that attendance drops. I mean, I get it. People go back to school and everything, but it's like the best time of year to go, you know? It's the weather is beautiful. It's like the ideal time to go. So that's amazing. So we know some of the Balboa Park institutions, Museum of Music is up in Carlsbad, but what are some of these other museums that maybe we haven't heard of before? Can you think of any off the top of our head that we might want to check out?
Well, yeah, we go all the way out to Campo.
Wow.
Where we have the Pacific Southwest Railway Museum.
Okay.
Down to the border, we have the Tijuana Estuary. We've got Living Coast Discovery Center down in Chula Vista. Also in Carlsbad, we have the Miniature Engineering Museum, which is really fun for kids and families. So we have it all over the county. Birch Aquarium, which is one of the big ones. They're a little different. You have to purchase your tickets ahead of time online, but you still just use a kids-free code to get onto there. So it's great. So you have all these big museums like the USS Midway participating, but then you can also go around the county, and go to the San Diego Archaeological Center out in Escondido. So it's a little bit of everything for anything you're into.
No, that sounds great. When we come back from break, I want to chat with Patty. Definitely, this piqued my interest. Ales and Rails is coming up, your annual fundraiser. I think I have a little bit of idea what's involved in that one over there, and can't wait to get into it with BJ on all the cool things going up of the Museum of Making Music when we return with our friends from the San Diego Museum Council and the San Diego Railroad Museum and the San Diego Museum of Making Music. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We will be right back.
When you do your banking with Mission Fed, you get great rates on auto and home loans. That's good for you, but something good also happens for a lot of other people. We're not for profit, so we put money back into the community to help lots of great nonprofits to keep San Diego strong. So you're not just getting something good, you're doing something good. Come to Mission Fed. It's banking that's good for all.
Brand amplification is the DNA of Cloudcast Media, and our code is the powerful blending of sound, voice, and storytelling to lift local brands and their communities. Whether it is our Brandcast, Schoolcast, or Causecast platforms, the unifying ethos is all about this community, the one you call home. If you dare to dream and want to explore the brand amplification of Cloudcast, a national leader in local podcasting and other Winfluence strategies, please visit us at cloudcast.us.
I'm Drew Schlosberg of Cloudcast Media. You're listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show, the nation's longest-running community podcast, now in our 17th year, joined by Bob Lehman, Executive Director of the San Diego Museum Council, Patty McEvoy, Marketing Coordinator for the San Diego Railroad Museum, and B.J. Morgan, Marketing Manager for the Museum of Making Music, joined by my very cool co-host, Kristen Fogel, the Executive Director of San Diego Writers, Inc. So, Patty, talk to us about, I know Kristen wants to hear as much, what's Ales and Rails?
So Ales and Rails is our annual fundraiser. It is our beer tasting fundraiser. So we will have breweries from all over San Diego County come and you can taste their wonderful ales. It's an ugly sweater party as well, so we encourage you to wear your ugliest sweater, and we'll do a little competition.
Any sweater I wear makes it as ugly.
You'll be prepped.
Exactly. Well, what day is it?
It's going to be December 16th.
Okay.
It's around 6 p.m. And then tickets go on sale this Monday, October 2nd. So by the time this comes out.
I assume it's at the museum?
It is at the museum. Yeah, we'll have all of our exhibits running as well. So you can see all the trains going around. There'll be raffles and live music. It's always a fantastic time.
Oh, my goodness. Live music here. That piqued up BJ's ears and all that aspect of it. So, Kristen, I know you'll be there on the 16th, will you not?
Probably. Yeah.
I guarantee. Yeah, I know I will.
I like a good ale, and obviously I've talked about how much railroads, factor into my life. So yeah.
And this event is 21 plus.
Okay, well, can't bring your kids on that one.
That's fine.
Very good. So BJ, tell us what's in the plans for you folks moving forward.
Well, we are continuing our concert series. We regularly host a concert a month. We have the Mastersons and then Big Sandy coming up later in October, and then a few holiday special events. So you can always visit our website to see the latest and greatest concerts there. We've also started the new season of our adult music program. We have 2 different ensembles for adults who want to get back into making music or learn how to play for the first time. We have a New Horizons band program. If you want to learn how to play a concert band instrument like trumpet, flute, woodwinds, percussion. And then we have the North Coast Strings program if you're interested on the orchestral side. So adults who want to try out violin, viola, cello, bass. And this is for all skill levels. You don't even have to know how to play. We just started new beginner groups this year. So if you are interested, if you have the time on your hands now, because, maybe you played when you're young, then you have your career. Now your career might be, sunsetting, and now you're ready for the next sunrise in your musical escapades. And so now this is the opportunity to learn how to play an instrument with others who are doing the same activity. So it's a group setting, very supportive, very fun. We have some long-time people there, and we have some brand new faces too.
That's right. Kristen, do you play music?
Poorly, yeah. Yes.
What instrument do you play?
Well, I went to school for voice, so voice is my instrument. But I play some bad piano. I can do Chariots of Fire still, so that's pretty good.
Right.
There's a grand plan. My mother-in-law's boyfriend is buying Declan a guitar, but I think that the grand plan is that it will go to me when he gets bored of it so that I can jam out with him. So, look for me. Maybe I should try the Sunset and learn a thing or two.
Well, that's like getting your mother a baseball mitt for her birthday and go, you can't use this.
Yep, I think that is the plan.
Yeah. No, that's great. BJ, how long have you been playing music?
Oh, I am a percussionist, and I started when I was very young, and so I've been playing for almost 35 years now.
So you had the drums in the garage, and then you were making the neighbors crazy?
Well, I grew up in rural Indiana, so there wasn't a whole lot of people to bother with the drum kit at that time. Right.
Exactly. Bob, listen, anybody who knows anything about the Museum Council and these phenomenal museums, there are treasures. So obviously, you're growing this museum month and so forth on this. What has the feedback been with the museums themselves?
I think they're really excited about it. Our numbers have increased. This from 21 to 22, this program increased by over 60% in the numbers of people who are participating. So we're breaking records every year, both with Kids Free and Museum Month. And our museums, a lot of them are breaking pre-COVID levels in their attendance. We've had the Birch just broke their biggest record ever, and also the Friendship Garden, Chappies Friendship Garden in Balboa Park is going to break a record this year. So, we probably are not at the same level we would have been had COVID not hitting, but we are back to pre-COVID levels. So it's a good place to be starting. So these programs are really working to get people back in the museum, see what they are, and have fun, and keeping our people that are there working.
One of our frequent guests on the show is our friends from Forever Balboa Park, who just do, magnificent work and so forth. And, I think Chris and I may have even chatted about this. We cannot talk enough about the museums that are really in this community, and whether they're in the Balboa Park or they're up in Carlsbad or all throughout. these are treasures that we have, and they're run well. They got some great folks that are running these things, of course, and talk about this. Patty, you've been there for a year now, correct? And so, is this your first, sort of touch point with museums?
It is, yeah. This is my first, career job. So.
Right, exactly. So you certainly went to museums when you were younger, but now you're on the inside looking out. Talk about that.
Yeah, it's so fascinating to see what goes into it. And, now that I've been in the museum industry, I'll never go to a museum and look at it the same way again. You're walking through the galleries and you're reading all of the signage, and it's like, oh, this is how they do that, and this is how they do that. So it's a lot of fun to kind of see how much really goes into these things and knowing what goes on behind the scenes as well. So we obviously have our exhibit spaces, but we have a whole educational program that does outreaches as well that we're super proud of, and we love the things that they do in the community.
Right, and kids 12 and under are free all the time?
Correct, yeah. So it was last December that we switched our pricing model to kind of make it a little more inclusive for larger families. So kids 12 and under are free year-round for us. Kids are a big fan of trains for the most part, so we love having them running up and down the halls.
Right. So BJ, listen, I certainly love when you talked about the strings. My daughter played violin.
Oh, excellent.
And, yeah, exactly. I could barely play two spoons, for God's sake. Did a great job. She was so good they wanted her to be in junior orchestra, but she said, now it's not getting fun, Dad. And said, well, if it's not fun, don't do it. Absolutely. Talk about what you have set up, not only, with kids and adults. This should be fun, should it not?
Yeah, absolutely. And my personal philosophy is like, if you have the passion, well, you don't even have to have the passion, but once you learn or at least experience playing music on an instrument, and if you take that to a certain degree, you will always have that with you. It doesn't matter what age. You can start as a child. You can start as a young adult, an older adult, even senior retired. Once you have the ability and the drive to grab onto something like that and experience it, I think it's something that you can always just kind of keep with you. No matter how good or bad you are, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. Just the ability to be able to communicate through an instrument, even like the simplest chords on a ukulele. It's transformative. Or drumming too. Like, the running joke is like, who's the person that hangs out with musicians? Oh, it's a drummer. So I get that. I understand that. It's a different type of musicality, but it's still a physical thing. It's still being able to express yourself through a different means.
Right. Well, the drummer was always the cool person in the band, right? Who's the drummer out there? I want to hang with that guy over here. Yeah, lead guitar is fine, or the bass and all that, but it's the drummer. But Kristen, listen, there's such a connectivity with what all these museums do, of course, and what your field is, Writers Inc., but especially with music. You talk about the lyrics and so forth. Talk about that.
Well, it's all story, like what we do at Writers Inc. is all about conveying story, usually in the written form. So museums do a lot of that. I actually wanted to flip it back to Bob because I had a question that Patty sort of touched on with your new model as of December, you said, with 12 and under being free. Bob, can you speak to Museums for All? Because this is something that's kind of ongoing, right?
Right. We encourage our museums to participate in it, and it's a program where it's a national program where so people that are on SNAP benefits or EBT can get into museums all over the country for free or for very little money. It might be $2 or $3 or something like that to get in. So that happens all year round. There's also a lot of other free programs that we promote on our page. There, for military families, there's things in that area. There's also in Balboa Park on rotating Tuesdays, all the museums have a free day, which is a great time to go down and visit. A little bit more crowded that day, but it's a lot of fun and makes it, more attainable for more families. And that's a big part about what Kids Free is about making museums more affordable, more accessible to families, and removing that financial barrier that might be there for them. And to get them in, if you get kids in at a young age to a museum, they'll be, fans for life. And that's part of it too. We want them to get in there early. One of our partners, First 5 San Diego, is about the first 5 years. And if we can get them to touch an instrument or go see a train and fall in love with Thomas the Train at that young age and with their family, it's going to be better both for the kids and the family on the long term.
Bob, do you know any metrics on, since the great success of Museum Month, that how many first-time folks for a museum? And in this year, 20% of the people that went never been to a museum before, and now it's up to 30%. Do you have any metrics on that?
We don't collect that data. Some of the museums might, but we do. We mainly collect where people are from.
Right.
That's a big thing for us, so we know, what percentage is coming from the city, the county, and outside in the state, and then outside from the country and the world. So we mainly track that type of information, but that'd be a good category to find out.
And the reason why I bring that up, we have quite a few folks working with some nonprofits, and it's just amazing to people. I've learned this over my 17 years of doing this, of how many kids have never been to the beach. I think we live in San Diego. How many have never been to the mountains, have never been to a lake? How many people have never been to a Padre game or whatever the case may be? How's that even possible? Oh, it's possible, folks. And the same thing with museums. And then when they get that one experience, they can't get enough of it. Mom, I don't care how much money you need. And we all know there's different, situations where it's tough to raise some of the money for these things. But once you've experienced that museum, whether it's a railroad museum or it's a museum of making music or, the plethora of ones that you work with, that's an experience a kid's not going to forget.
Yeah.
And I think it's just so critical. I know Kristen and I are very passionate about this, is that getting those kids those experiences are just so critical. It's not an earth-shaking statement, but whatever we can do on that aspect. So I'll start with you, Bob, and move my way over to Patty, and then end up with BJ, and you jump in too, Kristen. What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
Well, I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What can our listeners do to support your efforts?
Spread the word. Go to our social media page and pick a post that you like about Kids Free San Diego or one of the museums, and just share it onto your social media so the people in your circle see it. And go visit one of the museums. You're gonna find out how great they are. A lot of them have changed dramatically over the years. They always have new exhibits. So just get out and visit a museum and give it a chance if you haven't been back in a while. You're gonna have fun. And that's what this is really about. It's about having fun.
Exactly. Patty, how about you?
Yeah, I'll second that. Visiting is just kind of the number one thing. We'd love to have you come through our doors. Additionally, we do memberships to our museum, so that kind of helps us fund our mission and fund our development. And then, of course, we're always accepting donations. We take donations directly to the museum as a whole, or you can donate specifically to our education department to support Title I funding as well.
That's great. AOs and Rails is going to be December the 16th. How do people sign up for that? What's that website?
The tickets are going to be on our website at sdmrm.org, and it'll be /Ales and Rails, so the letter N. Ales and Rails.
Yeah, and they can always Google and all that business. And BJ, for you, what can our listeners do?
I will third all of the points my colleagues have made. In fact, going back to echo kind of what Bob said about accessibility, I mean, we're very thankful for the Museum Council because a lot of these initiatives, they have spearheaded Museum Month, Kids Free in October, and Museum Exchange or Membership Exchange too. Just wonderful programs that have brought our community, our cultural community together. And so, going and supporting all the museums in San Diego. I know when you make a donation to the Museum of Making Music, you can choose where that donation goes. We have a Title I tour field trip program for schools that are below an economic threshold.
Sure.
We subsidize all of the costs for that, even transportation costs through donations. So you can elect to direct your donation through the museum. And we have membership programs. We have our merchandise. We have our just general admission. But initiatives like this help create an identity for San Diego, help create a safe haven for families, a cultural identity in San Diego that individually it would be very, very hard for us to do on our own. So organizations like the Museum Council and with leadership like Bob, I mean, it's important. So being able to continue it and just follow up on the messing here. So learn about what's going on and participate, engage, get out into your community, go to these organizations, and help us keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, what's the website to get a hold of you?
San Diego Museum Council.org, and then the Museum of Making Music is museumofmakingmusic.org.
Very, very good. Kristen, any comments?
No, just thanks for what you all do. I'm jazzed to go to the Ales event. I want to, go to some of these places that I haven't already, up to Carlsbad. And so, yeah, excited about it.
No, you have to fight me to get up there, up to Carlsbad.
I have to fight you? Why don't we just go? Let's just make it easy.
Oh, yeah, I guess we could do it together. Yeah, no, that's a great idea. Again, you'll be seeing us up there. What I'd love to do is, Bob, you're always welcome to be on. The content you provide is endless, and it's very important for our listeners to hear. So whenever you want to make a return appearance, you let me know. Would love to have both you folks back on individually. So shoot me an email at ucladrew@aol.com, both you, Patty, and BJ, and we'll try to get you on in November. And leading into the December 16 Ales event, or other things you're doing too. Our show tends to back up pretty quickly over here. We're already booking into that aspect of it, but what you folks do, and Kids Free Month and San Diego Museum Month, and everything you offer for people is exactly what this country needs. It's what this culture needs. We need a lot of more of empathy in our world, and a lot of education and collaboration, and we all get together in inclusion, and you guys are all the DNA behind all that. So from the bottom of our hearts, we thank you very much for what you do.
Thank you both.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You bet. I'm Drew Schlosberg, and you've been listening to another edition of Drew Schlosberg Spotlight on the Community Show. We hope you enjoyed the program.
You've been listening to an episode of Drew Schlosberg's Spotlight on the Community Show, amplifying the voices of social impact organizations, entrepreneurs, local nonprofits, and other community champions who shape the culture, creativity, and connectivity of San Diego community. Brought to you by Mission Fed Credit Union, bringing good things to San Diego for over 60 years. Learn more about what is good for you and good for all by visiting www.missionfed.com.
Cloudcast Media.